Today's travelers along Illinois Route 1, just outside of Rossville, may have no idea that they're driving on a piece of transportation history. Long before the interstate system and even before Route 66, the Dixie Highway served as the first paved north-south route between Chicago and Miami. It was a series of paved roads that was a product of the Good Roads movement. One of the Dixie Highway's biggest proponents was industrialist Carl Fisher.
Fisher had land holdings near Miami, Florida. He also was involved in a company called the Prestolite Manufacturing Company, which made headlights for autos at that time. So he had an interest in making people drive at night. He wanted to improve roads because the more roads were improved, the more people would buy cars. And he had also had an interest in getting people down to Florida to hopefully buy land or vacation down there to help with his investments down there.
In Illinois, the Dixie Highway comprised 136 miles with a starting point at Adams Street and Michigan Boulevard in Chicago. Leaving Chicago, the road followed Illinois Route 1 to Danville and then went west into Indiana. In October of 1915, a motorcade took off from Chicago in an effort to both promote and inspect the highway.
They left Chicago about 6 o'clock that morning and didn't get to Danville until about 12 o'clock that evening. And up and down the road on their journey, they stopped in each community, and basically the governor told the people why the the paved highways, in particular here the Dixie Highway, was important to the state and their communities.
By 1921, the entire route in Illinois was complete, making it the longest continuous paved road in the state. By 1926, the Dixie Highway was finished nationally, totaling nearly 5,800 miles. Today, Illinois Route 1 continues to be a well-traveled road connecting communities like Watseka, Hoopeston, Rossville, and Danville. And one group who wants to promote the Dixie Highway in Illinois is the A's R Us Model A Ford Club, based in Crete, Illinois.
The A's R Us Club does sponsor the Drive in the Dixie Tour, which starts up in Blue Island and then winds up in Momence. And along the way, it's another thing where each and every one of the little towns kind of open up the town, and you get a chance to find out some of the history of the Dixie Highway. Now, Jim Wright, who's with the group and leading the group today, has actually written the book about driving the Dixie in Illinois. So there's a little bit of history in each and every little town in the book, but then to actually stop in these little towns and see something that's not just a picture, but see the physical bricks and sticks is really neat and really interesting. And then to find out the little things, the little nuances of the history of the various little towns is really great as well.
On this October day, Kate and I met up with the A's R Us in Rossville. As part of their fall tour, they decided to recreate that historic promotional motorcade from 1915. Their journey would take them from Chicago to Danville, with stops in many of the towns along the route.
The cars in the club are Model A's. They're vehicles that were produced by Ford from 1928 to 1931. They're all owned by members of the club. They're all what they call drivers. So, I mean, they don't sit in people's garages or get trailered anywhere. They get driven. They go on all of our trips. Most of the time, we don't have any problems with it. Today, we had a few problems with one car in particular, but every other car pretty much has made it down here, and we're going to still hit Danville. I'm kind of the oddball in the bunch. I drive a 1954 Ford. Actually fire chief's car, and the Model A guys have been very nice to me and have accepted me as part of their club.
It's just really great to go into these towns and find out a little bit of history about each and every little town, to find out about the people, and the cars are kind of a gateway to open up the conversations. You start talking about the cars, and the next thing you know, you're talking about this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah, we like traveling old roads. We like traveling named roads. We like traveling roads that have no names, and our backcountry roads and squiggly roads and curvy roads and things like that. We don't want to travel the heavily traveled roads because we can travel at the pace that we normally travel at without having to be harassed by other motorists who get upset that we're going too slow.
While the advent of the interstate system has overshadowed the two-lane highway, routes like the Dixie Highway still have an important role to play.
The Dixie Highway now, obviously is the backbone of these towns in eastern Illinois, east central Illinois. Obviously, for these communities, it's extremely important that the highway continues to be well maintained, which in Vermilion County and Iroquois County is extremely well maintained because they just redid it this year. For these communities, it's important, and not everybody has access to interstate highways, and so it gives these people an opportunity to get places quickly and safely, and it's important. And actually, as far as the name, the Dixie Highway, to keep that in people's mind, it's part of our history, and hopefully the communities that it goes through will capitalize that on as part of their history and make it something that they can have people stop in their town and increase maybe a level of tourism in their communities.